Hello students, I am sure you all are fine over there. I hope you all are learning from my videos. Students, today we will start our lesson 3, that is tissues. Students, in the last chapter, if you remember, we have studied about cell. All living organisms we have seen that they are made up of cell. A unicellular organism, example amoeba, paramecium, they have a single cell in their body, and that single cell they are able to perform all basic life activities. For example, if we will take amoeba example, then in amoeba we have seen that intake of food or respiratory gases, respiration, osmoregulation and excretion, they all are done by the same cell. However, if we will see multicellular organism like human beings, if we will consider ourselves, then there are million of cells in our body, and most of these cells they are specialized to carry out only a few functions efficiently. Like these functions they are taken up by different group of cells. Thus, we can say that there is division of labor in the multicellular organism. For example, in human beings, you know that muscle cells they contract and relax to cause movement of a body part. Nerve cells or neurons they carry messages. Blood it flows to transport oxygen, food and waste material and so on. So likewise, if we will see in plant cell, then the cells of phloem they conduct food from leaves to other parts of the plant. Thus we see that cells which specialize in a function and are grouped together they form a tissue. The term tissue it was coined by Bichet in 1792 and the study of tissue is called histology. So a group of cells similar in structure that work together to perform a particular function they form a tissue. Or the tissues are in multicellular organism there is a division of labor where different group of cells they take up different functions. The cells specialize to carry out one particular functions occur together and form a cluster of cells. Such a cluster of similar cells in the body it forms a tissue. Now the tissue may be defined as a group of cells that have a common origin, shape and structure. They work together to achieve a common function. Like we know that in multicellular organisms, similar cells which are performing the similar functions, they join together to form the tissue. Tissues, they join together, they form the organs, and finally the organs, they form the organ system. And the organ system, it is forming the whole organism. So you can say that the tissue, they are defined as a group of cells that have a common origin, shape, and structure, and they work together to achieve a common function. Now, what is the importance of these tissues in multicellular organism? As you know, that in multicellular organism, as I told you, that there is division of labor. So, how these tissues are helping us? Formation of tissues, they have brought about a division of labor in multicellular organism. Tissues they become organized to form organs and organs into organ system, as I told you. Now as a result of improved organization and higher efficiency, multicellular organisms have higher survival rate. Now plants they are autotrophic organisms, so they are preparing their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but they are stationary and they do not move from place to place, hence they don't need much energy. Most of the tissue in plants they are dead and they provide structural strength to the plant. Now we know that in all the multicellular organisms like all the plants and animal tissues are present. So is it that plants and animal tissues they are of same type? No, they are not of same type because they have to perform the different functions. Like most plants tissue, they are supportive and they provide mechanical strength. They need less energy for their maintenance. While animal tissues, they carry out different functions and they need more energy. Now in plants, you will see that most of the tissues they are dead, whereas in animals tissues are living. In plants, the growth is limited to certain regions, but it is uniform in all the cells in animals. So definitely plants and animal tissues are different in shape and structure because they are performing the different functions. Now, first of all, in this chapter, we will study about different type of plant tissues. Now, plant tissues, they can be divided into two main categories, that is meristematic tissue, as you can see on your screen, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. They are divided on the basis of the ability of their cells to divide. So these cells are meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues, they are undifferentiated, they have dividing cells And permanent tissues, they are differentiated and they have non-dividing cells. They are made up of non-dividing cells. Now meristematic tissues, further we can divide them into apical meristem, lateral meristem, intercalary meristem. And in permanent tissue we can divide them into two categories, that is simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. So in simple permanent tissues, you will study about parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma and some protective tissues. And in complex permanent tissues, you will study about xylem and phloem. You must have listened these two words, xylem and phloem, in your earlier classes. But here we are going to study about them in detail. Now, first we will study about meristematic tissues. As I told you that plant tissues, we have divided them into two, that is meristematic tissues and permanent tissue. So first we will study about meristematic tissues. Now, as I told you, meristematic tissues, they have dividing cells in them. Now, meristematic, this word is derived from Greek word meristos, that means divided. So meristematic tissues, they are formed of young compactly arranged undifferentiated living cells that keep dividing, and they add new cells throughout the life of a plant. They are responsible for the growth and development in plants. Meristem, it is a region where meristematic cells they dwell. Now meristematic tissues, they are usually found at the growing regions of the plant, such as tips of roots, shoot and branches. They also occur as leaf primordia and as cambium. Characteristics of meristematic tissue. As I told you that meristematic tissues, they contain undifferentiated dividing cells. So the cells of the meristematic tissue, they are similar in structure and they have thin cellulose cell wall around them. Now the cells may be spherical, oval, polygonal, or they may be rectangular in shape. The cells of these tissue are compactly arranged. Compactly arranged means they are very tightly packed and they don't have any intercellular spaces between the cells. The cells, they have dense protoplasm with prominent nuclei, and vacuoles in these cells, they are either small or they are absent. So as I told you that these cells are dividing continuously, so the cells, they divide repeatedly throughout the life of a plant, adding to its size or adding to the growth of the plant part. Different types of meristematic tissue. Now based on their location in the plant body, following three types of meristematic tissues are found. First is apical meristem. So apical meristem, where it is found at the growing tips of stem, roots and growing young leaves. Leaves, it is responsible for the growth and elongation of roots and stem. Hence, it increases the length of plant. So apical meristem, basically they are responsible for increasing the length of the plant as they are present on the growing tips of stem, roots and growing young leaves. They are also called as primary meristem. Second is intercalary meristem. They are located at the base of leaves and twigs and at the bases of internodes. Internodes, the area between the two nodes, it is called internodes. So it is located at the base of leaves and twigs at the base of internodes. It increases the length of organs and branches and is responsible for bending movement of twigs. Lateral meristem. It is found as cambium in the vascular bundles of dicot stem and roots as cork cambium beneath the bark. So they are present beneath the bark and they help in increasing the diameter and girth of plant. And this type of growth in plant, it is called secondary growth. Functions of meristematic tissues. As we have seen that meristematic tissues, they contain the cells which are dividing continuously due to cell division. Now meristematic tissue, it means they act as a parent tissue from which other tissues develop. These tissues, they take part in the growth by formation of new cells. As I told you that they are having the undifferentiated dividing cells in them which are dividing continuously. With the help of meristem, plant continue to produce new leaves, branches of a stem and roots, flowers, fruits and root hairs. Now the place of injury in plant, it is healed by the formation of new cells by meristem. Means if plant get injured, then this healing process, it is done by the meristematic tissues because they produce new cells at that point. Now the plant shoots, when they lodge or bend due to wind, they are made to grow upright by the activity of intercalary meristem. So these are basically all the functions of the meristematic tissues. Now in our next video we will study about permanent tissues. Thank you.